Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Hi, welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream for YouTube. There will be live me talking to live people, and hopefully if I don't get cut off. Okay. And today I'm going to start painting, or I've started painting the Kerby Rosanes sketchbook, Sketchy Stories. And I will zoom out a little bit to show you the pages. So this is an amazing book. It's not as big as the other ones. It's about an A5, we say in the UK, and I think I measured it to be about 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. And so that means that with a little book of colours, that should keep me going for hours and hours and hours. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me, a quick slap. So that was my idea, and I've been playing about with colours with my colour wheel. And because I made this colour wheel with just 3 colours from printer ink refills, a very, very magenta pink, a cyan, which is a very, very cool blue, and a yellow, which is a cool yellow, I was inspired to buy 3 of the Cotman, Windsor Newton Cotman. I can't find the red for some reason. Nope, can't find it. But it's the Elysian Crimson. So that's given me a pink, a cool blue, and a lemon yellow. And from those, I've made the warm blues, the warm red, and the warm yellow, and which has given me it's given me a palette of every colour, and that's in watercolours. So yesterday, this was actually taken from my watercolours in here. These colours were from the ink 10s. The greens are from the ink 10s, and the oranges and the golds as well. So that's quite handy on a train. And no mess. I have a little clean specimen bottle, but they don't leak for obvious reasons. So they make brilliant watercolour pops, and they're the right size. If you want to watercolour traditionally, you can still get lots of water in there. I normally use just the lid. That one's had I made a little set of things, so I've got hundreds of these, and this is bought gesso, but I make my own gesso. So I've made a clear gesso, that's just water, and I've made a white gesso. So I'm going to make some more, and I'll make a black gesso. So I might do that live, actually. I think I might do a Ustream of that if anybody's interested. Bear with me. I'm just going to have a quick look at this and kind of see if I can get it going, because it is a live chat, but I've been cut off once from Ustream's having a spot of bother for some reason. I don't know what it is. So if you bear with me 2 seconds, we could be back in business. So this is a fab book, and I thought it would be lovely on the train to do. It's all his sketches of how he sets out with pencil drawings, and then he obviously goes over in pen and then starts to fill in more detail. So government warning, dogs barking at any time. Sorry, the neighbours are cutting trees down and it's setting my little dog loopy, so I have to warn that. So what I might do is I might shout dog, and if I shout dog, move away from your earphones. because that means that he's just about to start. So I did a quick flick of this book because it's quite a yummy book, I have to say. It has some really nice, quite fine details, but they do. It's quite nice for colouring and for a practice. I mean, some are really fine detailed, but some quite good stuff. Perfect for my size 10-0 paintbrush. Perfect for, I think with pencils and fine liners, I think you might struggle a little bit, but to practice with a paintbrush not going over the lines would be fab. Hi Terry, hi everybody, thank you, welcome back. Sorry about the glitch. Somebody, I think Ustream's having a spot of bother. So welcome back everybody, and I hope to, because I started recording, it wouldn't let me record either. So this is a recording for YouTube, but also a live stream as well. So I'm flicking through the book very quickly. So I don't know how much everybody saw of this, but there's some pretty amazing things to colour in. And I think watercolouring is quite easy, and it lends itself to practicing with making your colours, mixing the colours, and also it would be penmanship, but brushmanship. Try not to go out of the lines, how brushes make marks, and that's quite a good and the colours, which colours go next to each other, not just mixing colours. So watercolouring does a little bit of everything. And then, of course, once you know about your colours, you can then start with your pencils for blending. But I say I like watercolouring, and this lends itself perfectly because there are some really fine, tiny marks on these pages. You'll have to bear with me. I do apologise. So, is everybody... with me? Is the force with me? Bless. I think there might be just a couple of Martians watching me, but never mind. They might get their watercolours out. So I'll leave that open anyway. We can have a look. So I've started colouring this. I'll flick through, and I'll do what I did last time. I'll leave the paintbrush there this time. I love the light bulb. I think that's fantastic. And there's always roses. So I'm a bit of a scaredy cat. So I've always started with plants, because the other book he did, the Imagimorphia, on the back page there's a horse. And I coloured that first because it had plants, leaves, flowers. So I knew what I was doing. Well, I didn't know what I was doing, but it was the nearest thing. It was the nearest thing and the most easiest to ease me into colouring this. And I mean, that butterfly, those wings are going to be amazing. I'll just pop this back onto here, and then if I do autofocus, you should be able to pick up those beautiful wings. But I couldn't get a pencil in there. You'd have to sharpen every 5 minutes or every 2 minutes. So if I zoom in a little bit, then you can probably see the book a little bit better. Oh, sorry, I put a timer on so that I wanted it to stream for an hour, because I thought that might have something to do with the Ustream having a moment of so if I scroll up here now, well, you can just about see that, so that's fine. That's fine. I just needed to see that you could see what I could see, so I just have to make sure that it's as I say, so there are some fab pictures on there. So I would think, you know, this is quite small. You could take this, and you'd be able to take my book on the aeroplane, whereas you couldn't take half the products there in an aeroplane because the liquids. So that's another good reason. This, you know, you on a long thingy, this keep you going on a train ride. That's the one that I think. I think I'll tackle that one last. Pretty sure I'm going to be last with that one. So there's some wonderful things to colour. I wonder if it was the little man that I've just shown, and he doesn't have any clothes on, but he's part of that. I wonder if that's why it stopped. I don't think there's anything else. I can't think. That's the only thing I could think of. I'm not sure. How strange. I never thought to look. I never thought it's a drawing book. Never thought, but yes, there is that. Maybe that's what it did. But this book, he shows you the process of how he gets from a cat to a house on a cat and all the details. So it's a fab little book. But I say I started on the train yesterday with the tiger, and I've coloured in the little girl. But I'm now using the watercolours for the owl. And I've got a piece of paper, so one is I'm not going to smudge things, and the other is I can just match the colours how I want. So there's a swan there. Well, I'd like to leave the swan white, but that looks like a koi fish, and koi fish are very vibrant colours, aren't they? So we have a green. So I wonder if we took a pink to a green. We would get. No, I think it's a purple. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's a purple. I think it's a purple we need. Sorry, a dog alert. Dog alert. Sorry, dog alert. I wasn't quick enough. Sometimes he barks with next door's dogs, and sometimes he doesn't. And obviously today, he does. Sorry, my little man is being a terror. So I put some blue to that. So that's quite a nice green. But I think if we put some more blue, we could take that colour to a greeny blue, which is a teal. Oh, that's quite a nice green. So I shall use that. Sorry, my little puppy's beside me now, so if I get him to go under the table. No, he's just in the way there. Bless him. Sorry about that. Right, so here we go. And I want to work fairly dry because, you know, it's a little book. It's not watercolour. It's not watercolour paper. It's just ordinary paper. And I think we'll take him to a bluey turquoise. Always put a little drip. The other thing is, if you do that, you've taken a lot of colour off and you've left just the bare minimum at the end of your brush. So that can make you get into some really fine spaces. Whereas a blob of wet colour on there would probably ruin it. And you've still got quite a lot of colour on there. You can even go back to that if you want to. I'm going to have to turn the page because I always find that easy. I always find it easy just to have that nice flow. Can everybody see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit more, because I think that's not very zoomed in. And I only do 10. Isn't it? It's not playing ball, is it? Does it like that? Let's see if that's any better. I think that's the best I'm going to do. So I hope that's in focus. Sorry. Let's just see if that's come up that it's. What a shame. It's playing up today. We still want that nice brown, sorry, blue teal. And if we just do the tips, oh, I might use these colours for the fish in the Imagimorphia. There's two fish, fan-tailed fish, I think they're called, and they look quite interesting. And I just wondered, is that part of the fish? Oh, sorry, dog alert. If my daughter moves anything upstairs, any movement at all, bark, bark, bark. It's a pretty good guard dog, but drives you insane after a while. So I hope you can see that. What I may do is I've just come out of it a little bit, because it can do better than that when it wants. It can do a lot better than that when it wants. Sorry, dog alert. Right, I hope that's better. Sorry about that. Right, let's get rid of that now. So back to our little fishy. And we want that lovely green again. So we can get a comfortable angle. You always need a comfortable angle, because you can colour in for longer. It's a little bit like knitting. If you're uncomfortable with your first stitch, you're going to be uncomfortable all day. Whereas if you can just get into a comfortable position, then you can work a little bit better. And you can work for longer. That's why I like watercolouring. You can do it for longer. I quite like those colours, actually. And again, I've just made them up. So again, that's quite nice. That was just chance that I touched that colour, and I got this. It wasn't nice. It wasn't the right one. And then I just ended up with this one. And that should be over there really with the blues, but I kind of do that quite a lot. So I push the whole thing up there. And then you can see that I'm going to just... And I've got always turn the brush gently, and if you're doing something really fine, take the water off. Take the water off, so you end up with just damp brush. And this is how sorry, that was the chair, not my back. This is how I watercolour napkins, with just as dry as possible. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the fins. And if you look at the other side, there's absolutely nothing, because I'm working extremely dry. And that's why you can work on a napkin. You're just stroking the colour in. I'm really not sure. I wonder if I should do that some pinks, maybe. So we'll get a pinky colour going. Not quite sure if that's going to ruin it, or maybe turn that into a purple. One of those bright purples, a bit brighter than that. Again, there's a little drop of water on the, because I keep dipping it into the, you see, normally what I work with on the train is I have a water pot, and I pour, in fact I'm going to do that, I've poured just about 5 millimeters of water in the bottom of there, and that's ample, because that means that when I use my paintbrush, I don't get any water on the top. Now I normally clean it before I do that, so just have to get some fresh water. So that's what I'm using instead of the big pot, because all I'm doing is I'm making such a mess. So do I like that purple with that blue and that green? And I think I do, actually. So take off quite a lot of colour, and I've still got quite a lot from the brush, and then I'm just going to stroke the paintbrush across very carefully. Because the other thing you've got to be a bit careful of is some of these tend to, I'm going to do purple nose as well. I'm going to do blue eyes. And I've got into the habit of using that, and I don't want to now. So I just want a touch of blue, just for that little centre, to give it that bit more colour. So that's the fishy done. What have we got? Oh, we have another fish there. So do we do a shoal of the same fish? I don't know. He doesn't have the purple fins that he has. So I'm not quite sure if I want to do that. So bear with me 2 seconds. I'll just have a word, see if anybody has managed to join me. So welcome everybody. This is a live stream of Bunny Designs, and this is Sketchy Stories by Kerby Rosanes, the same gentleman that did Animorphia and Magimorphia, and this is his sketchbook. So it has some fab things, including this tree. So I'm picking out the fishes at the moment, and I'm trying to get chat to work for the live stream, and I'm failing. But never mind. Just bear with me 2 seconds. You see, I like to ask if everybody can see that, but obviously with no chat. Hi everybody. Thank you for coming back to Bunny's Designs. We had a bit of a technical glitch this morning. I think Ustream, whether it's so many people are doing it, I don't know, but obviously. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Hi, Terry and Natalie, CB, and who else forgot? So welcome to Bunny's Designs. They are really tiny places. Can you see that? Is that in focus? Because I can't see on my little e-reader. Does that look? Can you manage to follow what I'm doing? I'm using my little palette and I'm basically just touching gently and making small amounts of colour. And my chair's creaking. So if I kind of do that. So can everybody see? Can everybody see what I'm doing? That's what I need to know. Hi Stargazer. Good afternoon, morning or evening. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream and also recorded for YouTube. So thank you everybody at YouTube for watching. I'm zoomed right in because I'm trying to show the Kerby Rosanes Sketchy Stories, and it's a beautiful book. It is quite fine detail. So I'm trying to... Hi Vicky. Morning Natalie. Hi everybody. Welcome to Bunny's Designs again. This is a live stream. There will be dogs barking because next door are cutting the trees down. So I will try and shout dog as a warning that there will be some loud yapping going on. At the moment, he's fast asleep under the chair, but that could change any minute. So I've tried to zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing because it is quite fine. I mean, this is a 10-0 liner, daily round liner, and that fish is the length of the brush almost. It is very fine. Fun to do though, and it teaches you how to, if I really carefully bring my colours in, I've done the same colour mix that I had the other day. If I zoom out a little bit, I can show you the palette. Right, so if I just pull that down here gently, I'm just conscious that I don't really want to get anything on this footprint. It is rather diddy. It is even for me, it's a small one. So this morning I took 2 pieces of photocopy paper and I bought this yesterday because I could clean it, and I was going to use the inks, but we have a shop called Fred Olsen, Cass Olsen, or Class. Oh, I get confused because we have an arts shop in Manchester and Leeds called Fred Olsen, and I get confused. And I found these reduced. They were 99p, so I thought, oh, I'm going to try that. So what I bought, so the same as the printer inks I was yesterday, is a very, very vibrant yellow, cold yellow, cerulean blue, this is a cyan blue, and an Elysian crimson, which is a magenta. And I had to do the same as I did before. I had to get the pink out, the blue, pale blue, and the very vibrant yellow. And I had to make the orange first. So I took the pinky red and the yellow and made the orange. I took the pinky red and made the orange. And then I took some more pinky red and put a tiniest amount of orange into the red to make it a ready red, a cold red. And then I took the purple, the pinky red, the azalean red, and the cold blue, the cerulean blue, and I made a purple. And then from the purple, I put a touch into the cerulean blue again to make a warm blue, almost a cobalt or a ultramarine. It's not quite warm enough for an ultramarine because the purple isn't that. It's still quite cool, is that? So that's probably a cobalt. But that's the pink, the purple that I got. And then I used the two yellows and the blue to make that vibrant green. So I've made the colour wheel with 3 colours instead of 6. So if you really wanted to be a tight person, you could just buy the 3 colours. What you can't do is you can never get a warm ultramarine purple into a green. Sorry, into a cool blue. You can never get the red out. Once that red's in, it's in. So if you have a cold one, you can add red to get your warm colours, your purples and your purpley blues. But you can never start with that blue. You have to have a cold blue. Does that make sense? But that proves that you can actually do it from 3 colours, because I had the idea that a printer prints thousands of colours from 3 colours. And if the printer could do it, I could do it. It's easy if you've got 6, again, because you're not faffing about and you haven't got the bright purple. It's not a nice purple, but it isn't a vibrant purple, because I haven't got enough pink in there to make that an ultramarine. And the ultramarine blue is a very purpley blue. I would say that's almost a cobalt blue. It's still quite cool, and that's why I've got a dull purple. Because last time we talked about opposite, the colours furthest away giving the dullest colour. And so I took the pink, the Elysium Crimson, and the yellow lemon, and I got a very dull orange. I took the furthest away, and because these are furthest away, but these two aren't really far away enough, I got a dull purple. I didn't get a bright purple. And the greens, I took the warmish, it is a little bit out, because I took a warmish blue, the one I'd made, and the yellow orange, the one I made, by adding a touch of orange that I've made to the yellow. I got the warm yellow, and those two were the furthest away, and I got the dull grey, the dull green. I mean, it's a gorgeous green, but it's a dull green. It's not the vibrant green. So the closest together the colours are, for the primary colours closest, you get the brightest secondary colour, and the furthest away you get the dullest. And again, with the yellow, you can never take the warm, which originally was the pink, you can never get that out of the warm yellow to make a cold yellow. I don't think you can get a warm yellow into a cold yellow, because if you add green or blue, you will get a green, and you cannot get it back to that. The same with the red. Once the pink's in there, it's in there. So those, you could do that with the 3 colours. It is more olive looking, yes. And the reason it's more I can't say it, olive looking is yesterday or the day before we were doing some colour mixing. This is from printer ink. So what I did earlier today is I took this out and cut it out. And I want my yellow there. It's not perfect because I drew them separately. But basically, that is the brightest yellow, which is that yellow. And that's the brightest blue, which is that blue. So cyan and cerulean, I can't say it today, is the same. And the red purple is the magenta, which is Elysium Crimson. But we discussed that there are lots and lots and lots of different pink colours. You could have, there is magenta, a lot of pencils are called magenta, a lot of paints are called magenta. There's a lot of magenta, but you have to look to see if it's a pinky red. What we said yesterday, that really you could do with buying just 6 colours, a warm and a cool of the primaries. So you want a cool blue, so a cerulean blue, and a warm blue, which is an ultramarine purpley blue. You want a warm red, which is the alizarin crimson or magenta, a really, really pinky red, purpley red it's called. And then you want a red orange, so you want something like a cadmium red. And then you want to get to the yellows, you want a very bright yellow, like yellow lemon, lemon yellow. And this is lemon yellow. And then you want a very vibrant yellow. And by making those with a drop of orange in it, you can get the warm yellow. So you want a warm yellow like a cadmium yellow, or a cadmium yellow, or yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is a little bit darker, but it does the same job. So with those 6 colours, and especially yellow ochre as well, so that's 7, you can't make any colour very, very easily, very quickly. Did that make sense? Hi Judy, hi everybody if I've missed you. So I made the 2 colour wheels, although this is printer ink, which was very, very, very vibrant, and the Cotman watercolours. As I found those for 99p, so I thought that was quite a good bargain. And again, I've made this colour wheel from 3 colours. And again, that gives you a good understanding. So that blue isn't really the lovely ultramarine purpley blue. So that's why my purple is a bit dull, because it's on the cool side. So that could have done with a little bit more purple in it, a little bit more red, and then that would have been a nice vibrant colour. So let's see if I can do that. If I get a paintbrush, I'll go into the is that supposed to be a warm blue? But it isn't really. So let's see if we can make that. Can you all see what I'm doing? See if I can make that warmer. So this is the original alizarin crimson. So I'm going to actually put it into here. I can use a fair amount of water because, so that's getting there. It's getting warmer because I'm using more pink. Oh, contaminated that now, dash, never mind. Let's put some more in because we really want a bright purple. And that's more of a dark pink now. Is everybody okay with that? So what we really want to do is we need to take this one. Well, we've got this one, as I say, but it's not that good. So we need to just warm it up a touch. So you just want a small amount, and all we want to do is to warm this blue up. And it's still quite cool. But I'm adding the purple because if I add the original pink, it'll go too far very quickly. It's getting slightly warmer. It's not as warm as I'd like. I'm just going to put a touch of that in there, but we'll probably find that that'll turn to purple now, which it has. So I've now got a bright purple. So I'm still going to try to get this blue a little bit warmer. I still want that blue, can't get rid of that blue, because that blue is what gives me that beautiful green. Oh, actually, I can just put some more blue in it, can't I? Now I think that's gone back to that almost cobalt blue again. I just can't seem to get that right. So just see if that does it. And again, I've got a purple. So it is a bit tricky to get that blue. I mean, because I was quite careful with the other ones, I managed to do it okay, but if I take that a step back, again, it's a little bit warmer than that one, so it's difficult to do. So the best idea is six colours from any stash is not going to break the bank. The one thing I have done now though is I've got about 6 or 7 lovely purples. I think the light is quite. There's a deep reddy purple there, a browny purple. That's the dull one, and then I've got some nice purples there. That's probably right for blue purple ultramarine. That is probably right. So I've probably got there, then I've taken it back to cobalt blue, but it's still a little bit warmer. But that's taught me about blues. I mean, what we could do, what I was thinking about doing is taking each colour, each of the primary and secondary colours we have in a colour wheel, and really taking them out to the palest, the darkest, the reddy blues, the browny blues, the greeny blues, the yellow blues, the purple blues, and then we had a whole sheet of blues. So you can look and you can think, wow, I want that blue. And you can look across your chart and find out how you made it. So within a few minutes, you can mix that instantly without faffing about. The other thing I got I went to W.H. Smith's and they had some sketching pads for £2.99, which I thought was a good. And because this one flicks over, it's not going to be brilliant watercolour. It's only 135, but the way for what we use, we want quite decent. But that will lend itself to a whole sheet of blues, and then we can flick over and do a whole sheet of red, and we'll work our way around the colour wheel. So that was my idea. It could be a bark alert because somebody's coming downstairs. I also picked those up at Derwent as well, because it says they are water, you can mix them with water. So they're going in my little book. So that's going to be another thing next week, is to put that into my little book of watercolours, so I'll have another 12. But they did look wonderful, like the Graphitint. They would be charcoal muted colours. Haven't even taken that out of the packet yet, but so that's on my to-do list. And what I would probably do is try to make some little neat squares, because I do tend to get a bit kind of messy. So if you can make a page of squares, we can play with the colours. Did that make any sense? But they weren't too far out. It was just the blue. It's just the blue. The red one worked quite well. That looks like a cad red. That's the orange. That's quite nice. That's the darker orange. That's the warmer orange. So it did work out quite well. But by doing that and trying to make the colour, you can get hundreds of colours within that. And it does teach you quite a bit about watercolours. I've gone off on a rabbit trail again. Oops. Hi everybody. I hope everybody's okay. Hi Judy. Have I missed anybody out? I apologise if I've missed anybody out. But it's good just to play. So for £3, well, £2.97, I have 3 tubes of paint that I don't mind playing about with, because I say I'm a bit of a tight Yorkshire lass. I might probably get another one of these, because the other reason is it lends itself to these. Oh, I pulled them out the way because I thought I'd spill them. When I made all the colours yesterday out of the printer's ink, because this was £3.50, so it's as cheap as chips. And these go an awfully long way. And I've been looking at the Ecoline. Ecoline? Are they called Ecoline watercolours? Water inks? It doesn't say they're light fast. I kind of play about with these Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydras. And these are light fast. These are for professional water artists. And there's a lot of colour in there. But I thought I wanted something a little bit cheaper, so it's just for colour mixing. Oh, thank you, CB. You got that, did you? Brilliant. Right, so I shall pop that to one side. I'm actually on my little Victorian. I wanted to use my Victorian. I think it's a ladies' one because it's small. It's a writing desk, but I think it's what they call a portable one because you can lift the side up. And you have a hidey hole, and you can put stamps in it and pens. These are the original pens. These are the original pens that were in it. So they're about 100 years old, I would think. And that is a Civil Street. And it's never been, it's a pencil. Might not focus on that. But I've left them as they are, bless them. It's 2 ink. And I usually draw with an ink pen as well. So I've got some watercolour paper into there. So, oops, I didn't write. Oh, you've got to be careful to get these right in the middle. I didn't write that, so I thought to just protect it, I would put some kitchen paper over it. But it gives you a nice little slope to work from. I bought it from eBay and I went to pick it up from a beautiful house in Harrogate. Harrogate is near York in the UK, so that's up north, as they say. Because I'm a tight Yorkshire lass. So what I've been doing again is playing with colour. It wasn't right, so I've gone back to the edge of my watercolours. But I'm trying to colour this in. So did that make... Is everybody kind of happy with that? Is everybody okay with that? I felt rather guilty not colouring anything in and just kind of waffling about colours. Just see if I can get that to focus in again. I can't remember what I paid for mine. I just can't remember. I better put that away because it's full of paint and it will end up. So did you all see the flick through of the Sketchy Stories book? I just had a quick slurp of water. Do you all want to have a quick flick again? I can't remember where I saw this Victorian book. I have about 4 boxes now. I'm a bit of an antique freak, I have to say. The colouring book I want for Christmas is, I haven't told my family yet because they think I have enough, there's, oh, can't think of the name now, it's gone. Pride and Prejudice. And it's all Victoriana and fans and dresses and teacups. And so I found that by accident and thought, oh, I need that one. So we'll have to save up for that one because, but I did that on the train, and those colours are from my little my magic book. I got on the train, I had a water pot and I use about 5mm, and it sits there and I flick through. So I use the greens from the Caran d'Ache. I flick and think, oh, I want a nice red. I think I use these colours. The red was for, no, there was that was for the tiger, and then I was flicking for the greens, and I used these greens, and I used these colours for tiger as well. And then I flicked through for the little girl, and I used Lagoon 0010 for in the ink tents, and they're all labelled so that when I use a lot of one colour and not another, I can just scribble more pencil on and put the pencils away. I've only done that once in 5 years, and that's because I have so many. I flick through them all the time. I've recently put these in, but I haven't been playing with them really. These are professional pastel pencils and pastels, in the little soft pastels, I got a very fat brush and wet the watercolour paper, and then in little circles, as soon as the crayon was wet, it stuck to it. So I got those in there as well. And these are Dr. Martens PH. Oh, they're, what did I call those? Faber-Castell crayon sticks, watercolour crayon sticks. Prisma, because it has a water brush on it. These are the Graphitint, the Derwent Graphitint. These are amazing colours. They're all muted, and they're even more muted because you're working from a scribble rather than, I think Dee Dee was using them at the Inktense as a pencil and then washed it. Well, I can't really scribble with them, so I've got my daughter to scribble a square and then I use those. But I have all those tints from one pencil. So I go on about my little book, and these are the Inktense as well. Sorry, not the Inktense, the oh, brain has been left behind today. What on earth do I call these? The Peerless, that's what they are. These are the Peerless watercolours, and this is what gave me the idea to put them into squares, because they last quite a long time. And then at the front I decided to go back, but I've got a problem with this. My hands hurt at bedtime and I don't know why, and that's why I've been colour mixing. When I use this book, I flick it open and I use a colour, and then I flick to another colour, and I don't do any colour mixing at all. I could do, because I've got the plastic palette between each one. And at hospital's perfect, because I can wet that, shut it. Oh, the nurse has called me in, shut it, throw it in my bag. So it's brilliant for that, and also the airport as well. Anywhere I go, that nobody can tell me I can't take these dry pigments anywhere. That's Winsor & Newton gouache, which when put a paintbrush to it. These are the Hydrus. There's only a drop. They look quite messy, but it's still full of colour that I can't bear to wipe it away. I did 3 tigers and 2 rabbits from one of these. And last but not least, the Gansai Tambi watercolours. And they've been in there a few months now. And the greens have taken quite a battering. You can see my little tiny brush, the little tiny brush I use. I wet the brush. I do that normally. I wet a little bit of colour off it, twiddle the brush down, and that's given me so much green, and they're beautiful to use. So I don't tend to colour mix, and that's why my hands don't wet as much. But recently I put the little half pans, I cut a couple of millimetres off each of the bottom of each one, put them back in the pan, put them back into the box, and then glued them in with just white PVA glue. And I've been colour mixing, and that's why my hands, oh, you see I can't hold that rope. So they're all in here, and they're all a little bit shorter. Oh, don't know what's happened, just bear with me 2 seconds. Ustream is definitely having a problem. Are we still with everybody? Is everybody okay? Am I still alive or live? So all these pans are a little bit short now, because I've already got this one. All the pans normally just protrude colour a little bit, but because I've taken mine out, I poke them out and cut a tiny bit off the bottom and then pop them back in. They're all a little bit shorter now. Apart from the yellow one, that one just kind of went to mush a bit, so that was upsetting, but it's all there. It's all pure Winsor & Newton lemon yellow. So I've got my cool lemon. Yellow ochre is fab for anything, because the sap greens and the viridian green was there, and there's a few browns, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and there's cobalt blue, but I've got cerulean blue, so I've got my coal blue, I've got my ultramarine, and if you notice, those two are the two that I've been using the most, the Elysian crimson and the cadmium red, and the cad yellow is warm yellow, and the cool yellow, and that's why they've been used the most. But again, there's no colour I can't mix with that, if my hands permit. So, enough waffle about my little book, and back to painting in this book. But I say, that does lend itself to some, pretty cool. I was on the train with my little book, I opened it, my husband said, we're due in the station in a minute, and I just shut everything up and put it in my bag. That's brilliant. I for some reason, I've been cut off YouTube twice today. The only thing I can think of, there is a picture, it used to be in a television programme, and it's a gentleman in a circle, and of course he's naked. Maybe that's why. But it wouldn't let me record either, so there was definitely something. So there is a page in here that you can't have. But I showed it the second time and it was fine. So now I can't find my little book, my little page I was on. Can I find my page I was on? Yes, it is. So I decided to colour this page. Hi Rebecca. Hi Flintlock. Hi anybody else I've missed. Welcome to Bunny's Designs, and I'm colouring in this roughly A5, which is 5 1/4 by 8 1/4 sketchy sketchbook. The same gentleman that did, the same artist that did Animorphia and Imagimorphia. I've got my teeth in this time, and I'm trying to zoom in to paint these little tiny things, because some of them I looked at and I thought, oh wow, they're beautiful, but I can't really, I need to sit quietly and do that. Well, this one, I think, well, I can pick things out. There's some fish I can pick out, and there's a bird's nest. I thought I might leave the bird like a swan. I thought I might leave her white. I'm colouring in with my liner 10-0, quite a fine one. I've got some purple on there now, and I'm using my photo paper so that I don't mark where I've been, and also as a little tester so that I can test. I tested the purple with the other two colours to make sure that I was happy with it before I put it on, because normally I photocopy everything, and if I make a boo-boo it doesn't matter. But I decided that these particular books I will colour in, because I think they're quite nice, and I trust myself to think about it. But most of the time with these, especially complicated things, I do sit and look at them for a good half an hour to an hour, deciding what I want to colour and how I want to colour, because sometimes you want to be quite vibrant and other times you want to be kind of muted. And then the horse I did is, again, this book, the Imagimorphia. I haven't started any of them. I've looked at them all, and I started this one first. And my watercolouring is not watercolour. It's only crinkly because I spilt water on it at the hospital. My husband went round the corner coming home from the hospital, and I spilt it. I spilt my water pot, and so it crinkled and it went down the back of the eagle at the back. But the other side is as flat as a pancake. And I was playing with the greens. That's what gave me the idea with the greens. But I wanted to try and get watercolour effects without having all the wet, big wet brushes and all sloppy wet. I can't be doing with that anymore. So I wanted some nice colours, watercolouring and I managed the snail and the little. I've left the pearls. Still haven't decided what to do with those yet, because there isn't a lot of blue in there. I might make them like blue, little blue beads rather than pearls. But there's lots of different things. Just bear with me a second. So I wanted to say, so that was the first one because I knew I could pick out things. I had a rough idea of what to colour them, but when it comes to these little men and these strange creatures, I haven't a clue what I want. You see, I would do all these traditional colours because there's the bluebells and there's the roses. I try not to look at other people's. Has anybody else done this book? So that's my first attempt. So this was a kind of, I wanted to kind of use this. I've had to give my daughter, I'll show you this very quickly. This is the, oops, that's sticky, don't like that, don't know what it is. The menagerie, and my daughter started colouring it in, and she's a lot better than I am. I mean, that's just amazing. She has my soft colour pencils, colour soft pencils. I think the Windsor Newton, I wouldn't swear to it, but I think they are. Sorry, Derwent. I think the Derwent. But I just can't use them, so I photocopied the Tigger, and I coloured him twice. I coloured him. Oh, sorry, that's my bunny. I did the bunny twice, and those those colours are in the back of my book. The drops of hydrous look quite messy. It's because they've done 2 tigers and 3 bunnies and 2 tigers. But when I'd finished him, I didn't like the yellow. But because I'd photocopied him, and that's my watercolouring. Doesn't even go. This is photo paper, cheapest photocopy paper. And I did the napkin as well. I've photocopied the napkin several times. I've got that with me. And I photocopied. I nearly bought my daughter a top yesterday because it had drawn butterflies, and I thought I'm going to buy that for my daughter and photocopy it and colour it in. So the bunny's from the Imagine What's It as well. And so from that one drop in there, I got probably 10, 20 shades. And I don't like the yellow and the green ears. I didn't like the green ears. I really didn't like those ears. They should have been purple. And so, and I didn't like the Tigger because I'd started to think more of form. So it looked like it got a round nose, but it didn't. Not so bad here, but up here I didn't like it, so I did it again. But that's from the Hydrus watercolours. I mean, and that's a drop. Very quickly. I taught my daughter to draw, and she can draw better than I can now. Oh dear. It's awful when your children can draw better than you. Does that make you a good teacher or a bad artist? Although I stopped drawing now, I have to say. I did a couple of things that I used for I don't know where I've put them now, but I used them to get the camera to behave itself. So we'll go back to here and we'll crack on with this this really tiny, but I mean it's probably the size of my finger is that fish. So I found another little fish there. We'll feel happier having something else under there, really, because I'm prone to spills and disasters. So if we put that there, that little fishy is there. Can everybody see that? I think I'll probably zoom in a smidge. Can I say that on Ustream? I'm getting paranoid now. can get the little terror to focus and the little grumbly bumps out. Just see if I can just get this to focus properly. It is such a pest. I wonder if it would like that. Would it like that, do we think? Do we think that's okay? Can everybody see that? Right, that looks like my cat. So right, so Sooty can do the honours tomorrow. Then we know that Sooty works. That's good. So back to my little fishy, which is there, and I think I probably feel that he might want to be a different colour because he hasn't got the fancy fins, or is it because he's a baby? I don't know. He may have to be the same because he looks the same, doesn't he? So I've got my colours here that I've been using. Hi, little P. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the madhouse. Government warning: if the dog looks like it might bark, I will shout dog alert. I'll just shout dog, and then you know to duck because he's on the warpath today. Bless him. He's not been a good boy, and we're trying to train him because my mother-in-law's coming today, and she's 92, and he doesn't like people. So it's going to be very interesting. So let's have a bit of a play and see what we can do. You can't see what I'm doing there, can we? So if I take that off there, just put my finger in there, which is a silly thing to do. So I hope I haven't missed anybody, and welcome to the show. And we had a bit of a blip this morning because for some reason, right, I hope you can see a little bit of everything because I can't see what I'm doing now. Trying to get that fish somewhere around these teal colours. And I'm using a small water brush because I tend to put too much water on if I do that. So let's see what these do. Sometimes you get dirty colours, and sometimes you get colours that you're quite okay with. With that as well, because that's in the way. Was that my lovely teal colour? I started playing right on the end here. I mean, sometimes when you use some of these, they're quite nice for shades. Just see if I can just play about with that colour a little bit. I don't really want... You see, these will be okay for these, for all those metal parts. All these toned colours, metals and greens and verdigris and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of want a bit better colour for that. So we've got a nice bright green and a nice bright blue. That's maybe just a little bit too bright. So touch more blue in there. It's still more of a green, and I want more of a turquoise. I quite like that one, but I think I'm going to go a bit further. Is everybody okay? Is everybody managing to follow me? Oh, that's near as damn it. It's still a smidgy moisty. That's the other thing. Once we do all the blues and the greens, all the blues to greens, we'll know how to mix turquoise or teal colours instantly without even thinking about it. And that's going to be such fun. Yes, you see, touch more blue. I had thought about stopping. Oh yes, if you want me to say anything, just put them in caps, but just bear with me 2 seconds. I must try and get this little fishy started, because he's been sat patiently waiting for me. And you see, I don't know how you would colour that with a very fine pointed pencil, because that would drive me almost insane. So if you want anything, put it into caps, and I'll just see if I can. I was just wondering about Alfie. He yes. No, not quite. He's my. He looks the cutest thing on the planet, and he's the naughtiest thing on the planet. And I volunteer at a local abbey, a beautiful church in Selby. And I have this theory that God had a bucket of naughtiness, and it was full, and it was almost spilling over, and he didn't know what to do with it. And he knew that there was some more naughtiness coming, and he didn't know what to do with it. So he thought he's going to have to throw it in the first cutest thing he could find. And he did. Alfie is a King Charles Spaniel. He's the cutest thing on the planet. And he's the naughtiest. Well, I call him a puppy, but he's 2. He's the naughtiest boy. We've had him a couple of months. He's just the naughtiest thing you have ever seen in your life. If there's any naughtiness to do, he's in there. And he just can't help himself. He just can't help himself. The other 2 are rescued, and they've had really bad things happen to them. And they've got an excuse for being kind of crazy, but he hasn't. But he is still really naughty. And he frightens everybody. He's a rat bag. We call him all sorts. In fact, he doesn't get called Alfie most of the time. And he was thrown out of our neighbour's house because he's a naughty boy. And he doesn't use the toilet outside. He uses the kitchen floor. And it's like watching a toddler. You have to watch him every second. And we still miss him. He's still a rat bag. So I'm trying to get that lovely green I had before. That gorgeous green there. And that's more of a green. I don't want a green. I want a tealy green, really. So again, because I haven't done the colour wheel for a long time, I'm just flailing around, lost at sea. But that'll do. He's a bit darker because he's under there rather than being on top. So that's what we'll do with him. If I can get a photograph up of him, I'll put one up. I'll show you. Because he's a rat bag. And that's the little feet you can hear. He just wanders around looking for naughty things to do. That's all he does. He just wanders around looking for things. What naughtiness can I do now? Because I want to do naughty. So I hope you can still hear me. I didn't really like this colour, but it's a fish. He's got a dirty head, bless him. So I hope everybody's having a good natter. My chat is not working where I am. So I keep putting this in on my phone, on my e-reader, in the hope that it will kind of catch up with everybody else, but it doesn't. So I can't see a lot of chat. So we have 2 fish and we have an owl. And we have a deer. I don't know why a deer would be sticking its head out, but that's what we have. And there's a gorgeous tiger. So I might think of reds for the tiger. I think we're going to have some nice. Is he just in focus? Yes, he is. Bless him. So I think we'll try the orange first, because that's going to be a quite nice orange. Now you can do what Dee Dee does, which is colour all of it and then go in with something else. But I don't really have the patience for that. It's fab. but once I want to colour that and then move away from it, and it's gone. And when I start going over and messing with things, I normally make a bit of a pig's ear of it. So that's the main reason. Having said that, I'm doing that now with this because I'm frightened of the reds. So I am probably just filling him in because I haven't got a nice enough That's another thing I do as well, is I kind of use this is a bit too wet for me, and I don't want to be wet because I'll go through the page. And this is about as wet as I get when I'm colouring in a napkin. And I know with a napkin it works, so I know it won't go through watercolour paper. And if I start waffling and got on with it, it is quite fast. So can everybody still see that and hear me? I haven't been thrown out again, have I? That would be quite disastrous, wouldn't it? Right, so that's just that little bit too dry. So if we reactivate some of this red on here, that's the beauty of watercolour. Always comes back. Now that's a brown. I don't want a brown, we want a red. So I'm going in that. It could be a tiger colour, I think. Let's just have a look. Not making a very good job of that, I have to say. I should really be looking at a tiger. But there's a hint of a different colour. Is everybody okay? When I got my glasses on, I can't see what I'm doing. It's a bit too wet now. I don't want to do that. It's got a little bit of colour to it. I just put that across there now. Oh, bye CB. Thank you for popping in. Hope everybody's okay and they can see what I'm doing. Do we think that we're as blurred as we look? I don't know. Thanks for joining us. Oh, everybody has to get on with what they've got to do. It's I only watch lots of things because I'm in a lot of pain and I can't do anything else, so I can sit all day and just watch the world go round. And I don't like watching TV, so I'm a bit of a lazy son, so I have to say. So I quite like that. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the tree because we've got lots of warm things going on there, so I might do some kind of really cool greeny browns, which is like a rotting tree more than a because I don't think they're going to be really bright, those tree leaves. So there's a leaf there, I could try that. There's a caterpillar that's smiling, so that's a strange thing to see. So I hope you're having fun. What I want to try to do is to keep this so people can see what I might pan out a little bit because I don't think anybody can actually see what I'm doing, but you can see me colour mix. Is that a better idea? So you can actually see me colour mixing. I have a lot of right. Bye, Vicky. Are you? That's fine. Everybody can. Thank you for popping in. It's lovely to see everybody, or hear everybody, or hear everybody. I wonder where that paintbrush has gone. It's on the floor. It gets very boring after a while watching somebody do the same thing, I have to say. But I was more bothered about people seeing the colours that I was playing about with, because I'm actually messing about on the edge here rather than in the pans, and that's where you get your more exciting colours. But I think that would be a good time for next time to do that, is to work on a page of all blues, and then take the blues to greens, and the blues to yellows, and the greens across. So as I say, instantly you can know how to make an olive. The olive has got to have some orange in it, an olive green or a bright green. So I hope everybody's okay with that. I'm going to stop the recording for this, because as I say, we've had a spot of bother with YouTube. So thank you very much for watching. If you hang fire, gang, I'll stop the recording for YouTube. And so that's all I've done for this, but I hope that was interesting. And thank you for